I know that some time ago an offer of mediation was made by the Trinidad Community Foundation. I don't know if the door is still open to do that, but mediation is one means to work through the differences that you may have with them. I do have to say that it disturbs me greatly that the actions of this council have resulted in neighbor turning against neighbor, people saying and doing things to each other that I don't think are what our Maker had in mind. The good book says, love your neighbors yourself. I hope we all can think about that and give it its due. I thank you for the opportunity to speak and hope you honor the will of the people.
Mayor Riordan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. I'm here in regard to the article in the Chronicle News and the Trinidad Independent Times in regard to our city city attorney. First, I think the article is poorly timed, and let me explain to you what's happened. Mr. Beatty was chosen to be the city attorney by a vote of 7-0. He was sworn in, given a copy of the charter. 2 days later, he came to myself and the city manager at that time, Jim Soltis, and said that there was something wrong, that he hadn't qualified for the number of years that he should have had in order to become the city attorney. I taught United States history for 15 or 20 years, and the framers of the Constitution were intelligent enough to put in an elastic clause so that if you felt something was necessary to change, you could change it. So I made an executive decision, and I told Mr. Beatty that as far as I was concerned, 2 months isn't going to make him a better lawyer. I know some lawyers that have been practicing for 50 years that couldn't carry his shoes. I think he's very qualified. I think he has integrity and honesty by the fact that he brought it to our attention. I'm also here to defend Mr. Reno and Ms. Velasquez. They were asked, what about this? They said they had no comment. They had no comment because they didn't know. I think they've got enough flack. And I think it's time that we quit nitpicking, get to the basics. We're all one city, one of the greatest in the country, and I'll defend it to the end. I made the decision, not Mr. Beatty. And when he was appointed to serve in the manager's absence, and you knowing this, why did you appoint him? Didn't make sense. And now you're accusing him of unethical? I think it's unethical for you to bring this article at this time and the timing. You know for a year. He told you.
Thank you, Mayor. Peggy, Westmoreland.
Hello, I'm Peggy Westmoreland. I just have a few questions if I could. Councilmember Velasquez, in your written reasons for dismissing the city manager, you stated, and I'm quoting here, clothing allowance approved in the 2011 budget was $926. A total of $4,782 was spent without council knowledge. What do you mean by clothes?
I can't hear you.
What do you mean by clothes?
What do I mean by what?
Just make a comment. The council's not up here to answer questions.
Really? Okay, can I state why I'm asking this?
Read what you want.
I can read what I want, thank you. So what do you mean by clothes?
I'm not answering.
Okay. Are you aware of the Federal Whistleblower Protection Act? You're not answering that one either? Okay. Are you aware of the OSHA Act of 1970?
Not answering.
Did you at any time go to the city attorney, Mr. Beatty, and ask him regarding the legality of your letter stating to fire him over clothes? Are you
I don't know what you're talking about.
really? Okay. Mr. Beatty, did you discuss the legalities of the written complaints with any of the council members?
I will respectfully decline to respond to your questions, Chair.
He says he respectfully declines to answer any questions I have. Councilmember Bonato, when was your displeasure with the city manager discussed with the entire members of the council? Okay. All right. The reason I was asking, you already know that. We've already been in contact with the FBI for conspiracy.
Orlando Baca.
That's a hard act to follow. My name is Orlando Baca, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. I fought with the 101st Airborne Division for 9.5 months in the jungles of Vietnam. I belong here in Trinidad. I deserve my citizenship. Okay, I have a few things about Mr. Del Rubio. As a citizen of Trinidad, I am concerned about what is taking place. Mr. Del Rubio was put out of office for a good reason, but there are also other reasons that are somewhat questionable. Reasons I feel he cannot be trusted. First of all, he has something to do with the Bolton mob. He comes to Trinidad virtually unknown. He has had his record sealed. Why? To me, that's a red light. What does he do at all the other places he works that needs to be sealed? I'm sure if the citizens had known, he wouldn't have been given that position. I myself have questions as to his bidding process. On all major projects around the city, the flag project, the golf course project are very questionable. Amongst others, it seems as though Purgatory Valley construction gets all the high dollar bids.